Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean.
Welcome into the JAKIB Media Phillies Postgame Show. My name is Marc Farzetta, and this show is brought to you by the great people at Colony Pools and Power Washing. You can win and save big this baseball season with our friends from Colony Pools and Power Washing. Let the experts get rid of that ugly green algae and mold off your roof, off your siding, and off your deck as well. Hell, they even might write a lineup for you. Huh? They service Delaware, Delco, and Chester counties. Call them now at 302-762-2250. That's 302-762-2250. What has Kyle Schwarber done to justify being in the leadoff spot over Bryson Stott? Like, what has he even done to justify being in the leadoff spot over Trey Turner, who is not even having a great year to this point by any means? What have Bryson Stott and Brandon Marsh done to show you that they shouldn't hit against left-handed pitching? Because it's really weird. They hit left-handed pitching almost better than anybody else in the team. It's crazy how that works. Isn't that wild? They're not even in the lineup today. I mean, hey, thank God they're available for the ninth inning, but maybe if they're in the lineup, you don't need them in the ninth inning the way you needed them in the ninth inning tonight. This sucks because I have to rip somebody that I really respect. But in all honesty, there's no way in hell Kyle Schwarber should be leading off in this lineup anymore, given the season Bryson Stott has put together for himself. And there's no way on God's green earth that Brandon Marsh and Bryson Stott should be held out against a tough lefty. And Chris Sale's more than a tough lefty. He's a hell of a pitcher. Give him all the credit in the world. Hadn't been pitching great so far this season by any means, but they decided to hold Bryson Stott and Brandon Marsh out of this lineup. I thought we were through this exercise already. I thought we were already through this where you started these guys against like a reigning Cy Young Award winner like Sandy Alcantara in a game. You said, hey, have at it there, kids, but don't go out there against a tough lefty. I'm sorry, did I say tough lefty? A mediocre lefty the following day of that Marlins series from, 3 weeks ago now? And now you can't have them face Chris Sale. Brandon Marsh this season, to give you the true blue numbers on it this season against left-handed pitching, 321 batting average. Bryson Stott, 293 batting average against left-handed pitching. And by the way, he's hitting like 303 going into this game today, 302 going into this game today overall. So you want to hold these guys that have already risen to the occasion and already rose to the occasion even last year. I mean, I made the argument, case in point, last year. These guys hit left-handed pitching. Why are we giving them time off when they're playing so well? Why are you opening a weekend series against the Boston Red Sox when you've already lost 4 games in a row? Why are you not putting your best foot forward? Why are you messing with Bryce Harper Day at Citizens Bank Park, where the kind and merciful people that run Major League Baseball were so gracious and courteous to allow Bryce Harper extra time to get a beautiful ovation from his hometown crowd? More on that later. I love watching Kyle Schwarber play, and he's been awful in the field lately. He was never a Gold Glover, let's admit that, and I think we understand that. But even from what we have seen over the last 2-3 games with him in left field for the Phillies, he has certainly shown every bit of his lack of skills as a fielder. He has been as bad as we thought he would be over the last handful of games when he was originally acquired by the Phillies. The only difference is you hit 46 home runs and people start forgetting about your, they start forgetting about your on-base percentage. They really forget about how many strikeouts you have. They also forget about your batting average, and they sure as hell forget about what kind of defense you're providing in left field. Now that's not being covered up. I mean, he's on pace for a 34, 35 home run season now. All right, still at least 10 fewer than last year. More mistakes in the outfield. Drops the ball from Tapia tonight to start off the game. It ends up biting the Phillies in the old behind. And somehow, magically, Rob Thompson still finds it necessary to have him as your leadoff hitter. That ship has sailed. It has sailed. This is a brand new year. you're getting production from guys like Bryson Stott that even exceeds the most optimistic Phillies fan. He's your leadoff hitter. Rob Thompson, you did a wonderful job recognizing he could lead it off for you. And I thought if anyone was going to be your leadoff hitter, it was going to be Trey Turner. If it was Kyle Schwarber, I was like, I can understand why you go Schwarber when the year started. But it makes more sense to have Trey Turner up there. That's why I wanted Trey Turner up there. And he started out with Trey Turner up there. Good for him. And then before we know it, we blink, and it's Turner in the 2-hole. Oh, he's in the 2-hole, so Schwarber's in the leadoff? No. Oh, Bryson Stott? Okay. Have at it, young bull. I still think those guys can be phenomenal table setters. This is, I hate repeating myself, but now it's something we come to now way too often. But Bryson Stott deserves to be number 1. Hitting leadoff. Trey Turner, I'd keep him at 2. I'd let him go through his struggles. Kyle Schwarber, I'm not benching by any means, nothing crazy like that. But now that Bryce Harper's back, it's very simple. Again, I hate repeating myself, but Bryson Stott, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos, then Kyle Schwarber. Then it'd probably go Bohm, Real Muto, Marsh. Those guys can work out the, 6, 7, 8 spots in this lineup. And I think they could work them out rather well. And then it's going to be a mix, a smorgasbord, if you will, of whoever's playing first or third base, batting as your 9-hole hitter. For instance, Eddie Sosa, probably more often than not. But I just can't understand for the life of me why a guy, first off, I think we all acknowledge this. I think we all get it. Rob Thompson's making the lineup. And if Rob Thompson's making a lineup, that's not the best way to put a lineup together. And I love Philly Rob. We all love Philly Rob, the World Series run from a year ago. And let's get all the accolades out of the way. This is a brand new season. You have some new pieces to this puzzle. You have pieces in this puzzle that are performing higher and better than what they did last year. And they deserve that reward. And you know who else deserves that reward? The rest of the Phillies roster. Certainly the fans in the stands that came out on a Sixers playoff night against the Boston Celtics. 43,000 people attending Citizens Bank Park to go watch the Phillies play, to go watch Bryce Harper make his return after only 160 days away thanks to Tommy John surgery. He busts his butt to make it back to this team. And I think this organization, I think Rob Thompson, and I think Kyle Schwarber owe it to Bryce Harper, this fan base, and the rest of the ball club to make sure that you're putting together the best possible lineup. I would assume, if all goes according to plan here, that Rob Thompson gets the lineup card. Rob Thompson makes the lineup card. Rob Thompson structures the lineup as he sees fit. Kyle Schwarber at the top of the lineup, no more excuses. Can't do it. Not a chance. Now that you have guys like Stott performing at the level he's performing at, you have Trey Turner in this lineup now. Yeah, you have Bryce Harper back. Forget about it. And the way Nick Castellanos has been hitting the baseball, no. What are you kidding? So this isn't Bryce. This is easy. This is an easy call. This is an easy decision. I don't want to see it again. Hopefully tomorrow night it'll be different. I'll cross my fingers for that. In the meantime, we will focus on this ball game tonight. I do appreciate people joining us here on the JAKIB Media Phillies Postgame show. It is just none too pleased, folks. Just none too pleased with the way this game turned out. As for the play-by-play of it all, I mentioned to start off this game, you had the error from Kyle Schwarber in left field, ended up biting him in the butt. You have the long delay, and that was scary. To go through the first inning to the ninth inning in this game, but to go in that first inning, there's a, I don't know how long it would be, about 15-minute delay, when a fan was reaching over the bullpen wall in the away bullpen. So somebody threw him a ball, and he was trying to get it out of the flower bed, as Taryn Hatcher was reporting on NBC Sports Philadelphia. And as he was doing it, he fell over and fell flat into the bullpen, the opposing player's bullpen, the Red Sox bullpen in this case. I was looking at the expression on the faces of a lot of the Red Sox players. It looked like at least two of them were in tears, a couple of them in shock. I don't know if somebody from Red Sox tried throwing the ball, and then it came down, and it didn't land in the stands, unfortunately, or at least where the walking area behind the bullpen. And the fan reached over and tried to pick up the baseball and then fell. They were taken to the hospital for evaluation, hopefully for precaution, and hopefully everything's okay. They did seem responsive as they were going off the field. It looked to be they had a swollen right eye, maybe a gash on the forehead, but it was definitely a scary moment, and we didn't know what the heck was happening out there. So hopefully a speedy recovery and hopefully a speedy recovery from something that's not that serious. So I'll keep my fingers crossed for that. But that was a very scary moment there in this ball game. As when baseball resumed, you still had a runner on base thanks to the error there from Kyle Schwarber in left field. Rafael Devers ends up coming up there with an RBI single. Next thing you know, you have the Red Sox up there in a 1-0 ball game. Nick Castellanos, the man I just got done praising for hitting the baseball as well as he did. He hit the baseball again tonight, but Nick Castellanos got a single in his first at-bat, tried to stretch it into a double, get things going there with a runner on second with nobody out, and unfortunately he got thrown out at second base, so it wasn't meant to be. Real Muto strikes out, Bohm gets a walk, Harrison ends up flying out to center field. Then in the third inning, our man Zach Wheeler got beat up a little bit. Toppy end up again, trying to lead off things with a bunt. He did so with a bunt single. Then Yoshida goes up there. He gets a single to right field. Then you have Turner up at the plate. He gets the RBI ground out to the third. Devers steps up. He gets plunked. So now you got first and second with nobody out, by the way. Duran comes to the plate. That's his name. He gets the fielder's choice to get Devers out at second. Duran gets safe. He's safe at first base. Then Kiki, do you love me? Hernandez steps to the plate. Chase Utley's adopted son, in case you didn't know. He gets the RBI single to right field. Now you're down 3-0, and Casas goes out there and he grounds out to the pitcher. And you're out of that jam. Now it's 3-0 in favor of the Boston Red Sox. You have nothing going on for the Phillies in terms of retaliation in the bottom half of that third inning, including Kyle Schwarber striking out on a check swing. So he got fooled, to say the least. Then my man Trey Turner struck out to end that frame. And that was after he got the leadoff hitter on. Josh Harrison got hit by a pitch to lead off the inning. He ended up taking second base. So you have a runner in scoring position in a 3-0 ball game. You have Harrison at second base. Next thing you know, Guthrie goes down swinging. Schwarber goes down with a check swing. Turner strikes out as well. Runner in scoring position, nobody out, 3 straight strikeouts. It's a fun game, ain't it, folks? Then in the fourth inning, Zach Wheeler starts to settle things in, which was nice to see for him. And in the bottom of that fourth inning, he goes down 1-2-3 in that top of the fourth inning. In the bottom of the fourth inning, Bryce Harper gets a swing and bunt down the first baseline. Chris Sale could not field it. They scored a infield single. Castellanos then steps up, hits a double down the left field line. Harper is busting it from jump. Well, Dusty Wathan sends him, and beautiful call by Dusty Wathan. Harper scores no problem. It's a 3-1 ball game. Next thing up, you got next man up. JT Realmuto steps up with a triple that bangs off the bottom of the wall just over top of his head. He's got to try to run it down. But in the meantime, you got another run scoring with Nick Castellanos crossing the plate to make it 3-2. And you get JT Realmuto going into third base with the RBI triple. Next man up for the Phillies, Alec Bohm hits a bullet through the right side of the infield just past their diving second baseman, and he gets the RBI single there. It's a 3-3 ball game. Phillies have tied it up. They've picked up their pitcher by the bottom of the fourth inning. That's exciting. Bohm would later take second base on a wild pitch. Harrison ends up grounding out to the third baseman. Sosa ends up striking out. Guthrie ends up striking out as well. So again, 3 outs to end that threat, but at least you tied up the ball game. Fifth inning, things settle in nicely once again for Zach Wheeler in that one. Bottom of the fifth inning, you do get Trey Turner on the bases there with a 1-out single to center field. Bryce Harper is able to advance him to second with a ground out to the first baseman. Nick Castellanos ends the threat with a strikeout. Sixth inning, more trouble. Duran steps up. He hits a double. Kiki Hernandez gets the single to center field, a bloop to center field. Now you got runners at first and third with nobody out. Casas steps up, sac fly, RBI. Now it's 4-3. Wheeler goes out. Brogdon comes in. Valdez gets the RBI single. And the thing that really grind my gears about that particular pitch, that particular at-bat, was that Brogdon was up in the count 0-2. And he lost him. 3 pitches later, lost Valdez, got the RBI single registered. Now it's 5-3. And that would be the final score of the ball game. Phillies did get an opportunity there again in the bottom of the ninth inning when you had Stott pinch hit for Harrison, made the first out of the inning. Then Sosa steps up. He gets the RBI single, or he gets the single to right field. Marsh pinch hits, draws a walk. So now you got 2 on with 1 out. There's hope. You can flip the lineup. Marsh walks. You do flip the lineup. Schwarber steps up there. And I will say, it was a horrible call. The second strike Schwarber took was outside by at least 5-6 inches, without question. Horrible call. However, as they always say, it shouldn't come down to that. It was just an annoying thing at a very big part of the game. Schwarber does not offer at it. Should have been a ball. It was not. He ends up striking out to end that at bat. Then Turner steps up and he strikes out. Swings, I think it took a ball, 1, I think it was, and then he took 3 straight swinging strikes, which has been a bit of an issue for Trey Turner so far this year. And the Phillies take the loss 5-3 in this one for the Phillies. They dropped to 15-18 on the season, and they have now dropped 5 in a row. That's not fun. That's not exciting. That's not the baseball we were hoping to get with Bryce Harper returning back to the lineup. 0-3 with Bryce Harper back in the lineup. You were a 500 team. Now you're 3 games under 500. That's not the way you drew it up. Our man, Kyle Schwarber, who I was talking about a second ago, 0 for 5 in the ball game. 3 strikeouts. Batting average now down to 183, a 305 on base percentage. That's no bueno. Trey Turner 1 for 5 in the game. Bryce Harper was 1 for 4 with that infield single. Nick Castellanos got you a couple of knocks, including the put out at second, unfortunately. Real Muto gets a hit. Bohm gets a hit. Harrison gets a hit. Sosa gets a hit. Meanwhile, Guthrie strikes out all 3 times, all 3 at-bats that he had. And also Bryson Stott, unfortunately, made it out in his only at-bat. This is the kind of point in the season where it's no longer April. You look at the calendar is a big old fat May right there in front of your face. And it's like, sooner or later, this team's going to turn it on, right? And I know a lot of you, myself included, are really hoping that Kyle Schwarber goes into that June, and man, we just hope that he starts hammering that baseball in the month of June. Mercilessly hammering the baseball in the month of June. I know that a lot of us are hoping that Bryson Stott keeps it going. I know that we're hoping that Alec Bohm shows you a little bit more power like he showed you in the first 2 weeks of the season. It was nice to see him get on the board with another RBI tonight. That was great. Nick Castellanos has been your most consistent hitter in this lineup. JT Realmuto has been right there with him as well. Stott, of course, when he gets back to the top of the order, whenever Rob Thompson makes that realization, will certainly be a great table setter again for this Phillies team. But the experiment again of giving Kyle Schwarber the leadoff spot just needs to go the way of the dodo as of right now until Bryson Stott shows that he can't handle it. And after that, Trey Turner can't handle it. So he's third in my pecking order right now. After Stott, Turner, then we'll have a conversation about Kyle Schwarber. But right now, I just don't get it. Maybe Brandon Marsh gets a spot up there at the leadoff spot. He's been hitting the baseball for you for a season plus here in Philadelphia. Why not give him that opportunity as a third choice before Kyle Schwarber? That's what I was thinking during the game. I know who my number 1 guy is. I know who my number 2 guy is in terms of my options for leading off. And I'm like, why not do Brandon Marsh? Give him an opportunity to lead off. But somehow, magically, it's still Kyle Schwarber getting that benefit of the doubt. Hey, man, if you're waiting for him to start mashing in June, like we were just talking about, he can mash in June from the 5-hole. And he can do that when Nick Castellanos gets another double and he's standing on second base. Next thing you know, you got a 2-run home run with Kyle Schwarber batting behind him. Let's do that. And by the way, you're still going to have to pitch to Schwarber because either Real Muto or Bohm are going to be hitting behind him, so there's still protection where you got to throw him some fastballs. This is not the season I was envisioning for the Phillies, especially to this point. Zach Wheeler struggled in this game. Did not have the defense behind him, unfortunately, but certainly in that third inning, you saw a lot of struggles. That fourth inning. The third inning with him, he allowed the 2 runs. Then he got charged for another 2. Of the 5 runs that were scored, 4 were earned and charged to Zach Wheeler in this particular start. Bullpen allows 0 runs in this one, even though Brogdon was the one on the mound at the time they surrendered 1. It was good on a positive note. See Gregory Soto bounce back from his poor performance in the previous outing that he had. So that was great to see him go out there, get a scoreless inning with a strikeout. And then I got to say this, Vasquez has been a very pleasant surprise for this Phillies bullpen. Andrew Vasquez has been a very pleasant surprise with what you've seen. He gets 2 innings tonight of scoreless baseball. Definitely a positive from Andrew Vasquez as far as that is concerned. Let's see what some of you fine people. Zach, what's up, Zach Hine? How you doing, brother? Hello, and lineup was a big time. Lineup was a big time garbage today. Zach, I agree with you. Turner and Kyle are trying my patience. I got more confidence in Trey Turner turning it around. I'm holding out hope for that crazy June that Kyle Schwarber has put together throughout his career. But Trey Turner, I can't think that this is going to be a huge down year for Trey Turner. You talk about starting out the season, everyone can start in a slump. A lot of people can start in a slump. Anybody can start in a slump. He started out great and then just dramatically cooled off. I got confidence, though, that he's going to bounce it back. He's a much better hitter than what we have seen as of late. I know he's got a lot of bloop singles over the last couple of games. I still believe that there is, at worst, a 290 hitter, 300 hitter in that body while he's taking pitches for the Phillies in that batter's box. I don't know what the issue has been. I know he's tried adjustments. Sooner or later, it's going to crack through. Maybe he's a second half of the season player. Maybe he needs some time to get ready. Maybe he's gripping the bat too tight. Maybe he's putting too much pressure on himself. The guy's a pro. Guy's hitting a World Series before. Maybe not playing for a $300 million contract. Maybe that's the issue. I don't know. Some guys grip the bat a little too tight when they're trying to earn that money. John Marinelli, what's up, buddy? I was impressed that fans didn't boo more than they did. On a night where Major League Baseball grants you permission to cheer longer, we're not going to boo. Who would do that? We would do that. We would totally do it. But we didn't do it tonight. Give them a lot of credit. And one thing I did love seeing tonight was the ovation that Bryce Harper got. It was fun. I was going back and forth at that point from the Phillies game to the Sixers game. And I saw the ovation, and I don't remember the chronology of it. Too much has happened already since then. But I don't remember the order. But seeing Joel Embiid cry as he got the MVP award and his son running, he references his son, Arthur, and just starts crying when Arthur, he talks about his son then runs out to his daddy. He runs out to Joel Embiid. Oh my God, as a father of 2 young kids, Niagara Falls. And then I flip back and I see Bryce Harper walk into the plate, and it was euphoria from the Phillies fans. And what I loved is they didn't sit down. When Bryce Harper stepped to the plate for his first at bat in the bottom of that first inning, they cheered. I would say it was a good, at least 20, 30-second ovation. All right, I didn't time it, but it was definitely a long ovation. It was beyond the 15 seconds. Anyway, it was beautiful. It was awesome. And he settles into the batter's box, eyes up the pitcher, eyes up Chris Sale, and fans in the stands stayed on their feet, waiting for that special moment. And I'm going to tell you this. That moment when Bryce Harper stepped to the plate in the 7th inning, that was a situation where it was 5-3. Schwarber actually, oh God, that's another thing. I'm looking at my notes right now. He had the bunt attempt foul. What more of a white flag can you raise than trying to bunt in that situation for Kyle Schwarber? Guthrie struck out. Schwarber ended up grounding out to second, and then Turner reached. That's the situation. Turner reached on the error by the third baseman. So he reaches on the E5. You have a runner on base. You have Bryce Harper at the plate. It's a 2-run ball game. And, man, the place would have exploded if Bryce Harper would have went yard and tied that ball game at the bottom of the 7th inning. That would have been nothing short of spectacular. But yet we can't have nice things, unfortunately. We can't have nice things. Phillies back at it tomorrow. I will not be with you guys tomorrow. Try not to miss me too much. I'm taking the night off. I got to go down to Baltimore, Maryland, where my mother's family is from, for a wedding. My little cousin is getting married. My cousin Sean. Shout out to Sean. So I'll be at a wedding tomorrow night in tropical, gorgeous Baltimore, Maryland. So that's where I'll be. But hopefully you guys will be right here, hopefully watching a post-game show with some talented guy hosting. And for the Phillies, going at it tomorrow night, trying to break this 5-game losing streak. It'll be a 7:15 start time. The game will be on Fox. It'll be Bailey Falter on the hill for the Phillies as they got their lefty going in this one against Corey Kluber. Corey Kluber, a rough go of it to this point. Both pitchers so far this season. Kluber 1-4 on the year with a 6.44 ERA. and he has walked 12 and allowed 8 home runs so far on the season. Kluber also coming off of actually one of his better starts of the season, actually. 3 earned runs, including issuing 4 walks on 5 hits and 5 1/3 against the Toronto Blue Jays. Before that, he actually steadied the ship rather well. 1 run, 6 innings, 1 run baseball, 5 hits against the Baltimore Orioles. The Red Sox actually won that game against the Orioles, who were just above them in the standings, actually, in the AL East. And then he allowed 7 runs before that against the Minnesota Twins. So a little bit of a different story in that particular start. Bailey Falter will be back on the bump for the Phils tomorrow. Again, 0-5 on the season with a 5.01 ERA. Far cry from last year's Bailey Falter. Here's his run totals over his last 4 starts. 5 runs, 3 runs, 3 runs, 4 runs. Now, one of those starts with the 3 runs, he won 7 innings. So at least he had up a lot of innings right there. And that's more of a start that you can expect on the regular from a guy like Bailey Falter. But he is coming off of that unfortunate loss in Game 3 of the Houston Astros series. Phillies went for the sweep. They lost by a run 4-3 in that final game. Bailey Falter struggled through 4 innings, 4 1/3. 4 runs on 8 hits while issuing 3 walks, just 3 strikeouts. So hopefully a bounce-back game for Bailey Falter in that one. We got to get a win somewhere here, right, folks? We got to get a win somewhere when it comes to a Boston team in the not-too-distant future, don't we? I think we do. And let's hope that comes at the very latest tomorrow. Let's hope that's the case. As, yes, it has gone final. The Boston Celtics took Game 3 against the Phillies, 114-102 in South Philadelphia. So at least tonight, Boston was 2-0, at least tonight. Hopefully it'll be a different story before we know it. Thanks for watching, everybody, on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. You guys are great as per usual. Let me tell you about the great people at Colony Pools and Power Washing. Let them bring your home back to life for the summer of 2023. Give our sponsor for the entire baseball season a call at 302-762-2250. That's 302-762-2250. If you're tired of seeing that green algae stain on your roof, give them a call. If you live in Delaware, Chester counties, or in the state of Delaware, make sure you guys give them a call. Colony Power Wash and Pressure Wash. Let them pressure wash your house and take the pressure off you. Check out our friends at Colony Pools and Power Washing. Alex Schmidt produced the program, did a wonderful job as per usual. My name is Marc Farzetta. I'll be back with you guys on Sunday. Hopefully then we're talking about the Phillies having at least a series win over the Boston Red Sox. Because that'd be fun. To beat Boston at something other than, that fun Super Bowl from a couple of years ago. That was a good time. Thanks for watching, everybody. Back with you guys on Sunday. See ya.
Heading down the shore, have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wild wood days.
Imagine for a moment that you went to work today and when you came home, you were catastrophically injured. Your life and your family's life. That's what happened to union construction worker Mike Little.
I was scared of what the end was going to be, but to be 100% honest with you, I knew I was going to be all right just by talking with Brian. In my heart, I just knew everything was going to be all right.
Call the firm and find out why they say, "We got this." Call 215-458-2222.
field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.